This week, Prime Minister has lost control of the borders, lost control of immigration, lost control of spending, debt, and inflation. Now he's lost control of his own cabinet. Yesterday, the Globe and Mail reported that there's a big fiscal feud that has broken out between the Prime Minister and his Finance Minister. At stake is that she wanted to run a gigantic $40 billion deficit, but that was her guardrail. And now this Prime Minister is pushing her through that guardrail and pushing all Canadians off the fiscal cliff. Why?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader likes to make up little dramas to try and distract Canadians from the fact that he voted against a tax break for all Canadians. He's trying to hide from the fact that he continues to muzzle his own MPs so they cannot be their community's voices in Ottawa, instead being his voice in forcing them to face billions of dollars in cuts to housing programs. He continues to refuse to get his security clearance because he doesn't want to keep his own MPs safe from foreign interference. That's why he's trying to distract Canadians from what's going on.
Dude, leave the security clearance alone, man.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Muzzling, Mr. Speaker. His Liberal MPs are not speaking out against him because he's allowing so much liberty. It's because he's so weak.
Right.
And there's nothing worse than a weak bully. He's now cracking down on his own finance minister, some feminist. On this side of this house, I lead by inspiration while he leads by intimidation.
Here, here. Here, here.
Once again, why won't he follow my inspiration and stand up for the promise that he made to keep the deficit under $40 billion?
Here, here. Well said.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, we see very clearly for the Leader of the Opposition, it's all about him. Well, for us, Mr. Speaker, it's all about Canadians. It's all about giving Canadians a tax break over the next 2 months that the Conservative leader voted against. Right. It's about delivering dental care to 1.2 million Canadians, where 3 million Canadians are already approved to access dental care in the coming year. The fact is, Mr. Speaker, we continue to be there for Canadians. He continues to be there for himself to try and block the help we're delivering to Canadians to make sure everyone thinks everything is broken because he's busy breaking it.
He's busy breaking it. You're in power. You can't even get all your MPs to stand up and clap for you. Half your MPs are sitting down.
Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
He's been Prime Minister for 9 years. Let's review the chronology. So, not even 8 months ago, his minister said the deficit would not exceed $40 billion, the guardrail. Then he went and got his banker friend, Carbon Tax Carney, to become his top economic advisor, stripping the power away from his finance minister. And suddenly, the guardrail was broken. Is he really going to subject his finance minister to the humiliation of reading Carney's fiscal update, which busts through the guardrail?
Here, here.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this morning, the Bank of Canada announced interest rates are going down yet again. That is terrible news for the Leader of the Opposition, but it's great news for Canadians for whom things will become more affordable. On top of that, a tax break out for Canadians over the next 2 months that the Leader of the Opposition voted against. Why, Mr. Speaker? Because he cares more about his own political interests than he does about Canadians who are struggling. Oh, he'll talk about the challenges Canadians are facing to try and instrumentalize them for his own gain, but he won't lift a finger to help Canadians.
He's already starting to get mad. Trudeau's going to blow a bubble. He's going to burst.
The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. Mr. Speaker, the Parliamentary Committee of Justice tabled a report that is literally a trial against Quebec's values because Quebec is attached to, like most Western countries, to the notion of separating church and state. And I'm wondering what the Prime Minister, to the thousands of Muslims in Quebec who are happy and welcome in their society that has welcomed them. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
What? I don't think she translated that properly.
On this side of the House, we have always defended and will always defend the freedom of ideas, freedom of expression, freedom of beliefs. This is a fundamental value for all Canadians and all those who come to Canada. And this is why on this side of the House, we'll always defend individual rights and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. This is clear, Mr. Speaker. The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. I'd like to make things a little bit more concrete, Mr. Speaker. Is the Prime Minister backing people who at schools, secular schools in Quebec, are imposing their religion? Is he backing those who are literally bullied because they want to respect the principle of secularism in Quebec schools? It's one or the other. Which one? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, very clearly, we will always defend the freedom of religion, freedom of expression, which are fundamental values for all Canadians and Quebecers. And that is why we're moving forward to defend the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, whether it's at independent universities or elsewhere, every institution has the responsibility of hiring the best possible professors and teachers based on merit, and that's what all Quebecers and Canadians expect.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
Donald Trump is a bully, and bullies prey on weakness. When Trump says jump, the Prime Minister says how high. And when Trump trash talks Canada, the leader of the Conservatives repeats that garbage. And when Trump trolls Canada, hundreds and thousands of Canadians worry that they might lose their job. Why won't the Prime Minister fight back and protect Canadian jobs?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the job of a Canadian Prime Minister is to stand up for Canadian jobs, for Canadian workers, the Canadian economy. That is exactly what we are doing with a level of serious and a level of focus and, quite frankly, a Team Canada approach that brings together, the Premiers brings together different actors from unions, from businesses, from expertise across the country. That is why we will continue to take this seriously, not freak out like the NDP or repeat the attacks like the Conservatives. We will stand up for Canadians like we have before, as we will again.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
Either, Mr. Speaker.
The Prime Minister is doing nothing while Trump mocks our country